All right.
Hey.
It's Caitlyn again.
How's it going?
Back at the Dennis Young guy?
The Dennis Youngie, yeah, however you say it.
All right, so what's going on today?
So I was actually really excited today. About 2.5 weeks ago, we saw that the male was holding eggs in his mouth. And so I came in and I thought they were brand new. Jimmy did a little video with me on them. Today, Nick was actually in the shop and he said that he saw one of the little fry dart out of the male's mouth, and then the male chased him down and scooped him back inside to keep him safe in there.
Cool.
We have them in here with these severums, and they will definitely eat the fry if given a chance. And I'm sure those bloodfin tetras will go after him as well. So he's being a good dad and keeping him safe for us.
All right, we got some other bettas in the store.
Yes, we do.
Let's go check them out.
Jimmy, look who's here again. Oh, I gotta get rid of these. You know why? We're going fishing. This time we actually got permission from Corey. We're gonna relocate this giant giraffe cat. I have a friend that is gonna take it off of Corey's hands here. And we're gonna do it in an ice chest.
Yeah, I saw that. You like pre-rigged this thing?
So, yeah, what I did, this is where we're gonna hook air up to it because it's a big fish, it's gonna need some air. I just drilled a hole through and bent a piece of rigid airline tubing, because that way on the outside, if this is up and down, I know this is in the bottom.
Oh,
right?
That's genius.
So if it's over like this, I know it's out of the water,
Yeah,
right?
and it's not working.
Right, so we want it to be working because we want to take care of this guy while he's in captivity. He'll be in captivity for about 18 hours.
18 hours?
About 18 hours.
Okay.
So I'm going to take him home tonight. I'm going to take him with me tomorrow, and he'll have him back in water about, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
So I figured out that this will hold about 9 gallons of water. We're going to take him in about 5, and then tonight I'll put in 5 at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also thought that we would maybe do a water change while at work tomorrow.
Okay.
So
I can't follow you along, but you can let us know in the future how well he's doing.
Right, and he might give us some pictures later after he gets them in there. So we're going to siphon water with this short little siphon.
Look at that thing.
Who wants to suck on the end?
All right, what is it?
This is the Betta Una Maculata, and I'm really excited about these guys. Huh?
I can't even say that. Una maculata.
Una Maculata,
All right.
yeah.
All right, what do they got for me?
So I think in here we have 1 male and then we have 3 females. So if we can find him, this guy. So he's a little bit chunkier than the females.
And brighter.
He's way more colored up, and what I really like about him is that they have a more subdued coloration. So they're from the same area as, for example, the Betta macrostoma. It's from the island of Borneo. These guys are from exclusively the east side of the island, where the Betta macrostoma are from the west side. So it's like this and this is their territories. So I think that's why they look pretty similar.
Yeah, they're the same size, if anything.
The macrostoma get a little bit bigger. These guys kind of max out around 5 inches. So I think the male that we have in there right now is going to be kind of as big as you're going to see him. So the macrostoma in contrast, like super bright, super colorful, and these ones are like more dull.
Yeah, they got the
down.
short end of the stick, huh?
I like it. It's a very like sky teal blue, and it almost matches the background of our tank here. But I think it gives them something, a more gentle look. The macrostoma look really aggressive, like their eyes are pure black, like great white sharks. And these guys, they look more calm. I find they're really interactive too. So if I put my hand up to the tank, I've been the one feeding these guys, but they get really excited about it, and they kind of follow me around, almost like Murphy.
Do you think where they came from, where the Betta macrostoma is darker because there's more tannins in the water and debris? And
Actually, yeah, so the Betta macrostoma, they want that really, really low pH in black water, whereas these guys have been found kind of in both. They've been found in like creeks where it's not extremely fast moving, but there is a bit of a flow and there's no tannins in the water. So these guys are going to be a little bit easier to keep because they've been found as a pH as high as 7, whereas the macrostoma, you really don't want to bring them that high. So these guys, you can do them low like that. You can get them in a tank with the pH of 6. You can get them up there to 7. So I think if you keep them in a setup kind of similar to what we have, where you got a bunch of them grouped in a tank, you could probably do like a 29 or a 40 breeder for a group. If you want to pair, I'm always a fan of the 20 long. It's my favorite tank size. But they want some of that more clearer water, and they want hides like the macrostoma. So if you got anything like caves or like under sponge filters like that, I find that's where they commonly go to spawn. These guys also really like hanging up here. I put this dwarf water lettuce in here, and they'll kind of sit in here. Their natural food is going to be stuff like bugs, so they kind of want to feed from the top. See, like that one in the back is kind of chilling where it's darker, but closer to the top of the water. These guys right now are also not picky in the store. So I've been feeding them virobites, bloodworms. They're readily accepting pretty much any dried food, any frozen food. So I'd say if you're looking for a wild betta that's maybe a little bit bigger than the typical one, something a little bit out of the ordinary, this is probably a really good choice for you.
All right, that's pretty much a really great summary on them. Thank you for your time once again, my lady.
Of course,
Bye-bye.
always. See you later.
So let's get some water and see what happens here. Oh man, this is just dangerous, isn't it?
This is gross.
You want to do it?
Nope.
You want me to do it?
Nope, I'm holding the camera.
I'll hold the camera, you do this. Okay, here we go, ready? None!
None?
Mouth is dry.
Professional. So this tank, my rainbow tank, is up there.
Right.
There's a turtle tank right there, and the rest of the tanks.
This tank kind of has become a holding tank for some of the fish that are getting relocated out of the 800, I believe. I do have a question though. You went to Aquashella this last weekend, right?
Yep.
So, how was that tank with 600 neon tetras in it?
Second day, very, very cloudy.
Okay.
Noticed a horde, slimming down a little bit since the first day.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure, a good 20 or so, maybe 30 or so passed away, but
Not too
other
bad.
than that, one of the coolest, most eye-catching tanks in the whole place.
I come up here and this is a fish that needs a net about this big, right? But how are we going to get that in there and get it back out with a fish in it?
Impossible.
I don't think it'll work.
It's not
right?
going to work.
It's not going to work. So, Corey gives me this. And I think that fish is like that long.
Yep.
So I don't know exactly what we're going to do here, but we're going to give it a shot. I think he is kind of peaceful though. Come on,
Yeah, until he's out of the water and kicking and screaming.
which is going to be shortly.
He's very nice and gentle.
Alrighty, the crystal tetras are a super cool fish. They come from the middle part of the Amazon throughout tributaries in Peru. They're also called a pie tetra. They have a super cool, what's called a Jacob's organ. It's basically a swim bladder for a fish, and that's located like right in the middle of the body. Has kind of these two little lateral lines that come down, connects, makes like a little pie symbol. So think back to your math days. Super cool. Fairly hardy from what we understand. They have a kind of interesting, wild habitat, very, very black water conditions. But the cool thing about them is they're actually a loosely schooling tetra. So they're one of those few tetras that you can actually do in groups of like 5 or less. I think ideally they said a very bare minimum of 3, but in the wild they haven't been found in numbers over 30, which is kind of unusual for a tetra. Most of the time, if you think of like cardinals or neons, they're found in these giant school of like hundreds, where these guys are just going to be in like little tiny social groups. Usually they said it was family groups, where all the fish are related. Not that it has to do anything with some sort of family dynamic. I think that's just kind of how it works out for them. Native to the Amazon, again, fairly easy. I would say like they prefer softer water, just like most tetras do. Yeah, that's the silver or the crystal tetra, or what they call the pie tetra. Super interesting kind of fish there.
He's so nice. There are some spines there. I bet those would get
I
you.
told you.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah. Size comparison for the hand. Yeah, that's pretty big.
That's pretty big.
All right, now what?
Now, let's try the air pump. We haven't tried that, right?
Nope.
Do we have an outlet or a plug-in close by? Or should I move this to
We
the
have a battery bank.
battery bank will work? I think it'll work, right? So I've actually never set one of these up, Jimmy. So
Super easy.
is it easy?
It makes a little alien sound when you plug it in.
Oh, so I don't need this guy, right?
Nope.
Don't need that. Just need the battery bank.
Yep. Watch. I'm gonna put this right here so you can listen to it.
Really, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, now I'm just going to close this really quick while I hook the air up to here.
So with this battery bank, it'll probably last you maybe 2 weeks with this thing.
Really?
Probably, if not even more, but this is a big battery bank.
Okay, so let's turn this so you can see it in here. Plug the air line into the pump, and hopefully we'll see air. Oh, look at that right there.
So what's cool about this thing is you can adjust it, right?
What can we adjust? This or this?
That.
Yeah. So I'll pull it out really quick and we'll just look at it, right? And Corey kind of showed this the other day, but this part is kind of a plastic coated nut, stainless steel, heavy, so it's going to sink, right? And then you've got these felt discs. That's what the air is going through. And I'm sure the air is coming out here, maybe it's coming out through the side, whatever. So as you tighten this, that determines the size of the bubbles.
Right.
So the tighter it is, the smaller the bubbles.
Right.
The looser it is, the bigger the bubbles. My thought on this was, because he's going to be 18 hours, 18 hours is quite a while for a fish that size in this much water. Even though it's like 9 gallons of water, because I'll fill this pretty much up to the top tonight. That's still a long time in captivity. It's basically like he's being shipped somewhere, right? What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to add fresh water up to here. This is just for car transport. I'll get it up to about this level. Air. And I have a little miniature heater, similar to a Bettas bowl heater, that'll keep the water probably in about 75, 76 degrees. He's a little bit warmer than that now. I'd say, no, he's about 77, 78, I'd guess. So that won't be too bad. And then tomorrow we'll do the same. I'll do a water change in the morning, make sure he's all good and healthy, and might add a little bit of salt for transport just to make sure that we didn't damage him in any way.
All right, little guy. Safe travel. So this is just a way to transport a big fish.
A big fish, yeah.
You showed us something really cool with the rigid line. And where can you get this rigid line?
Well, I got it at an aquarium store. Unfortunately, I didn't get it at the co-op. But he could get it for you if you wanted. It's Lee's. Lee's makes all different sizes of rigid.
Okay.
It comes in 3-foot lengths.
Okay, that's good to know.
So,
But the rest of the parts you can't get at aquarium co-op.
absolutely. And you know, you could probably do flexible, air stone. But I just thought, this gives me a visual, because I bent it with a hot, what do you call it? Hot air gun. So that the bends on the inside and the outside were the same way. So if this is this way, I know that's not on the bottom of the.
Right.
So if it's straight down, I know it is.
Okay.
That was the whole thought process. And I did check earlier that the cord for the heater, I don't have to drill any holes for it. It'll just flex over the top.
Oh, sweet.
So.
All right, little guy.
Does he have a name?
Luann.
Luann.
I
I got to tell this guy I'm giving him Luann. That'll be fun. So.